Hello and welcome to our course. It has been over 3 decades since the Greenhouse Gas Protocol has been published. I'm referring to the most recognized standard for corporate accounting and reporting of greenhouse gas emissions. Despite the growing awareness of climate change and the urgent need to address it, many organizations still struggle to effectively quantify and manage their carbon footprint. Greenhouse gas emissions, or as it is also called, carbon footprint, is a fundamental component of the overall sustainability performance of any organization. Within the context of ESG, which stands for Environmental, Social and Governance, it falls under the environmental pillar. Measuring greenhouse gas emissions, or GHGs, usually involves quantifying the amount of greenhouse gases released into atmosphere as a result of operations directly or indirectly controlled by a company. There are many reasons why measuring emissions has been such a difficult thing. It's the complexity of supply chains, lack of consistent methodologies and GHG reporting standards across industries and regions, difficulties in obtaining accurate, reliable and complete data, ever-changing regulations and policies which sometimes could be confusing and resource-intensive to comply with. And finally, there is simple lack of technical knowledge and expertise. Starting with carbon accounting might be a daunting task, as it requires looking at everything your company does from a completely new perspective. What greenhouse gases are emitted within your operations and within the whole value chain? To understand this, a company needs to collect a huge amount of operational, financial, employee, supplier and consumer data and convert it into emissions. So if you're fairly new to carbon accounting, this course will ease you into the subject and will make you feel more confident about carbon accounting concepts, the data you need to collect and the way you can calculate the greenhouse gas emissions. We will also look at the examples of greenhouse gas inventories and sustainability reports so that you feel comfortable understanding and analyzing emissions data in these reports. We will discuss key carbon accounting standards, mostly focusing on the Greenhouse Gas Protocol methodology. At the same time, we will also explore the criticisms of this standard and what solutions are proposed by the academics at Harvard and Oxford. In this course, we will give you a brief overview of the key voluntary and mandatory disclosure regulations that require reporting of greenhouse gases, and we will walk through examples of calculations of emissions. The course is structured in a way that it gives you an insight into the process, disregarding the size of your business or the industry. But if you want to dig deeper, we will provide you with additional reading materials by sector or industry. We will briefly touch the question of how technologies and software can help you with the carbon accounting process automation and what you need to pay attention to when choosing the software. And we will also talk about existing collaboration initiatives which you might want to join to get support and benchmarking for your carbon reporting and emission reduction activities. As usual, like for all my courses, you will get the presentation pack with relevant slides and the list of additional resources with links to all relevant regulations, standards, guidance documents, examples of sector-specific methodologies, databases with emission factors, the list of free training courses on carbon accounting, and links to some other useful resources like case studies, webinars on supply engagement and emission reductions. To be completely honest, when Udemy indicated that they require a course on carbon accounting for their business collection, I was a bit puzzled because there are already so many good resources, including free online resources and free guides on carbon accounting. But at the same time, it is really easy to get lost in the wealth of this information. So I hope that this course will navigate you through these resources. This is only a short course on a vast subject, so as you watch it, please let me know if there are any aspects which you might want me to cover in more detail. You can contact me directly through Udemy messaging, ask a question through lesson Q&A functionality, or contact me at LinkedIn. For those of you who hasn't seen my courses before, my name is Julia Marisova. I'm an economist by education, management consultant by profession, and climate and sustainability educator by passion. I have created a series of courses covering anything from climate politics, the need for decarbonization and the role of governments and private sector in energy transition, to more technical courses on EU taxonomy and business case for corporate sustainability. You can check them out either here on Udemy, just go to my profile and you will find all my courses, or you can see them on my website, Shortlisted Productions. I would like to thank you for choosing my course, and I'm also pleased to announce that for this course we have fantastic guest speakers from the SME carbon accounting and ESG reporting software company Futon. They have certainly added some depth and knowledge that only practitioners can give, because they work with carbon accounting and reporting on a daily basis. To get started, let's cover some key definitions and talk about the why, the what, and the how of carbon accounting. In summary, we know that each organization needs to reduce their emissions in order to contribute to the collective effort to address climate change and support the transition to a low-carbon economy. And that wouldn't be possible without measuring and tracking emissions. That's the main why. Then we know what exactly we need to measure. We need to monitor emissions of certain greenhouse gases, and we need to report them as direct and indirect emissions, which are split into 3 emission scopes. Finally, the how of carbon accounting. This is where we have standards and methodologies which we can use to guide us through the measurement of these emissions. So let's get started and look at the why, the what, and the how of carbon accounting in more detail.